Everyone, good afternoon. I was going to not do a live, and then I realized that I haven't done a contour video in a long time. So I've got my treatments, my moisturizer to help with this dry skin, that I'm having. I've got all that done. I've got my primer. I've got my base on. Right now, I'm just starting the first part of my highlight under my eyes with our Skin Perfecting concealer. And when you're putting concealer on under your eyes, make sure you don't just do this little half moon thing. You really need to do the entire under the eye all the way back to the hairline, then go up the bridge of the nose a little and kind of make a triangle. That's the most natural way of doing a highlight under your eye. If you're a woman like me and you're over 50, you also want to make sure your eyeshadow, you see how my eyeshadow is kind of going way out here? Well, when you're over 50, so that you give yourself a little eye lift, you want to take your concealer and go right up the side so that your eyeshadow is not going past your eyebrow. And if you do that, it gives you a little eye lift. But then you can see already that eye looks like it's been lifted. So that's a little trick for women over 50. See how that works? So my eye, instead of looking droopy, it looks lifted. Alright, so today I'm going to be doing contour. So contour and highlight. So I just did highlight for you, showed you a way of lifting, lifting your eyes, especially if you're, older, mature, like myself. And so you want to bring that white up. Now, I'm going to be doing most of my highlight and contour with our Sculpting Trio. You don't have to use this. This just makes it really, really easy because you don't have to. It kind of comes with built-in instructions. So you can see there's this little acetate overlay over the 3 products, and then it gives you a little sample of exactly where to use the contour, the highlight, and the luminizer. So I'm going to be using that in our sculpting brush, but you can also use any darker base or a bronzer to do your contour, or even a light brown eyeshadow. You will do the same thing. Alright, so what I'm going to do is start off with my contouring with, as far as shadowing. Shadowing means it's things that I want to make look smaller, slimmer, or thinner. So as you can see, the first thing that I think needs to look slimmer is my cheek area, because I have like a pretty round face. And so what I'm going to try to do is give the illusion of higher cheekbones than what I have. And the way to do that is to simply make this kind of motion with your mouth. I call it the fish face. And then when you do that, you're going to see a natural line that your cheeks will make. And you want to just follow that line, and that will tell you where to put the dark contour color. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to follow that line. What I love about using our contour is that it goes on with just the right consistency. It's not too dark that then you have to blend it out so much. It's already pretty much the consistency that it needs to be. Alright, so the other places that you might want to use the darker is if you think you have a pretty wide nose and you want to make it slimmer, then you're going to want to go down just the side. So here you can see my natural shading of the contour. Well, I want to make it a little bit, the illusion that my nose is not as wide as it is. So I'm going to go a little above the natural line and create an illusion that my nose is slimmer than it is. And if you want to make it not look so pointy, you can also go underneath like that And then the biggest thing about all of this is just to make sure that you are blending it out. And I'll show you how we're going to do that in a minute. Now, if you have a high forehead, and I don't really think I have that high a forehead, but I'm going to do this anyway. If you have a high forehead, you can give the illusion that you have a shorter forehead by putting it up here by your hairline. And then another area that I really need help with, especially as I'm aging here and I have this skin that is sagging, you're going to want to make your jawline a little bit more pronounced. So thank you, whoever that was that gave me the thumbs up. All right, so these are just some tricks. So immediately I already see that my jaw looks a little bit more chiseled. My forehead looks a little bit smaller. My nose definitely looks slimmer. And I have a little bit more of a pronounced jawline. Now, you don't want it to look like you just put that on. You want it to look like natural shading. So what I like to do is take my blending bud and some rose water. Rose water is going to set your makeup, and then it's just going to give me that little bit of setting that I need and blending so that all of this looks really natural. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the other two. So on your contouring palette, you have a highlight color, and then you have a shimmery luminizer. So let me tell you where I like to do that. I don't really like the shimmer on my nose, so I like to take my highlight color, which is not like a shimmer, and go right down the center, so that now just that really thin part is going to bring my nose looking even slimmer. And then I like to take a little of the highlight and go right under. This is the non-shimmer. If you're over 40, you don't want to put shimmer around that delicate eye area because we know that we're having signs of aging and wrinkles, and if you put a shimmer, it's going to draw more attention to it. If you just put a little matte highlight, it will do just what you want, make it look like it's a little lift without drawing attention. Now, if you put that matte highlight color over your eyebrows, it'll also give the illusion of an eye lift. So right on top and right underneath the brow bone are the two areas that I suggest. Now, with the luminizer color, which is the third one here, what I like to do with that is I'm going to take the other side of my contour. Before I do that, I have to put my blush. So what I'm doing is the Neapolitan technique, which is your dark contour, your blush, and then your luminizer on top. So let me do my blush so I don't get messed up here. If you're young, you have high cheekbones, just go right on those cheekbones. If you're older, and if you can see, my little cheekbones are way down here. So if I were to put this right up here on my cheekbone, my little apples of my cheek would be way down there. So the way we draw attention away from our sagging apples of our cheeks is you just go right on them. So instead of our blush going like we did in our 20s from here to here, it's actually going to go from here to here. And it's going to look fine, just trust me. So you're going to smile. We don't ever want to start with the apples of our cheeks because wherever we start, that's where the most concentration of product will be. So we're going to start on the side right above the contour and then do our leftover on the apples of our cheek. So we're going to start over here and then the apples of our cheeks, okay? Now what we're going to do is to do the last part of the Neapolitan. So we have our contour, I've got my blush, and now I'm going to use my luminizer to go right on top where we used to put our blush on when we were younger. And then that's going to really give you that illusion of full cheeks. Now you can also take a little of that glitter luminizer and put it on your Cupid's bow for fuller lips. And then the last place I like to just do it is like right there.